Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Julie Torrens. If you're new, welcome, and if you're a returning guest, welcome back. I am so glad to see you. So in my last video, I made these backgrounds using all black and white text. And some of it's a cream color, but it's all text. And so now we're going to work on top. We worked on backgrounds so that these pages wouldn't be so threatening to us. Now I covered this with one coat of Liquitex clear gesso because of the different mediums that I'm going to be planning on using. So what I plan, and what I plan and what we end up with aren't always the same, but that's the joy of art journaling. I'm working in my Dilutions large journal. So I have my Danielle Smith paints. I've got some watercolor brushes and my 2 pots of water, one for rinsing and then one for getting them really rinsed. I've got some pencils. I have a graphite pencil and then just a regular pencil. I've got some cotton buds. I've got some Sharpies. I have my metal pencil eraser and a white block eraser. So let's get started. So this has the same background all the way across. So what I was thinking is doing a face. I love faces. A face here, and then kind of, she's going to be on this side, kind of working this way. And then in my next attempt, I'm going to go and have her on the opposite side, a different one, so that it ends up being 2 women and then it kind of merges into one page. So we're just going to get started on this side. So I'm just going to start with a basic face, kind of sketchy and not too big, but just a basic face here. And I'm going to give her a throat. And again, she's going to be kind of coming more from this side. So here's her shoulder. And then this would be her chest. And I'm not going to have a lot of clothing details or, things like that. Kind of the structure of her throat. Okay, let's see if I can get some eyes going in here. We'll start here and here. Now, a lot of times I like to use, a lot of bright colors, but for this, I thought I'm going to just get out of my comfort zone a little bit and see if I can create someone that's, just a little less colorful. I'm going to erase that and bring it down a little bit. That's what's good about having a little bit of the clear gesso, is that it's not going to be absorbent. Now, everything has been covered with matte medium, so that also is going to, help a bit. Boy, I'm erasing already a lot. You can tell that I'm not real confident here, but, I always tell you, give it a try. Well, I'm giving it a try. And I can see that I'm kind of smearing, so I'm just going to grab a fluffy brush that I can start using instead of my hands, so I quit smearing my graphite here. Give her a little nose and then a mouth. I want it to be kind of a sweet mouth. Little smile. Okay, let's just go with it. There's some things about it that I'm already not crazy about, but we just have to try. This could be a disaster, but you know what? It's my art journal. Who cares, right? All right. So I'm going to add a nostril and a nostril and an eyelid. And then I just want her hair to be just kind of free, not I'm going to just kind of bring it up just so I kind of get an idea of where it might be. Just to have a little bit of an outline. Yeah, like that. Okay, now she's going to need some shading. And normally I do a lot of that with, using more color. But I want the color to be a little subdued. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to give her a little bit of shading in her lips and her nostrils, and just a little bit of shading by her eye. I also have some Sharpies to kind of, tighten this up a little bit. A little shading here. We may need to bring her throat out just a little bit. Okay, what do we got here so far? I'm just going to make her pupils dark, but I'm really not going to add, like oodles of color. I want really quiet little eyebrows. Okay, let's see what we've got here. I'm going to bring her hair out just a little more. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm going to take my little cotton bud and kind of work some of this shading in and see where we're at with that. Just every place that I added a little extra of the graphite, I just want to give her a little bit of shading, and if it feels a little too dark, I can always erase. I am not an artist that says that you never erase. No. I personally, I don't need that extra tension. Now the grittiness of this gesso is really tearing up these, but that's okay. We're just gonna keep on going here. Now, give her a little shadow of her eye and her eyebrow. Okay, let's see what we can do for a little bit of color, but I don't want to go too crazy. I'm going to go ahead and activate my watercolor. These are, if I said it already, I'm sorry, but these are my Daniel Smith watercolors. And the reason why I picked them over some of my others is that it's more of a natural kinds of colors and not, not so bright and brilliant, but yet they can be if you want them to be, but you can keep them a little more quiet. I'm going to start out by adding a little blue to her eyes, just a little. And I'm going to add just a little light color. It's kind of a pinkish, and I'm going to add more water and just add this to her lip just to give her a little sense of a lip color. Okay. And I'm going to pick a little lighter shade if I can figure one out here. That's kind of my lightest pink, but it's maybe, I'll try this one, but it's not that different. Just kind of water it down a little bit and see about just a little bit of cheek color, but I don't want a lot. And I'm not going to be adding like a lot of eyeshadow or anything like that. Just trying to keep her light and loose. kind of suggestions, but not too striking. I'm just using plain water now to try to soften this hard edge. Some more water. And there. Now, even though I'm using or working on top of all different textures and types of paper, because again, between the gel matte medium and then on top of that, the clear gesso, it's all kind of equalizing out. It's not, you know, this part's absorbing more, this part's absorbing less. No, it's not doing that. Okay, I want to get a darker color. This is called, let's see, Violet Shadow. And I want to add this darkness just to the top of her eye. And again, I'm going to lighten it up a little bit with some water. Okay. I think she's looking, you know, delicate. I think I'm going to see about how I can maybe smudge her nose a little bit so we have a little bit more of a shaded look. I'm going to pick up some of this, it's kind of a burnt sienna sort of a color, but I want it really watery. And I'm just going to get the extra drips off. I'm just going to add to create a little bit of a shadow color for her nostrils, and then to kind of highlight so that the tip of her nose shows up just a little bit more. And now I'm going to lighten up the edges, and I'm just dabbing my brush and rinsing my brush to kind of pick up the extra color and blur out a little bit. Okay, I'm running this right over her eyelids a little bit. And some of what I'm getting is this, just the color of the graphite that I was using. Okay, I can see that her cheeks dried with a little bit of a hard edge, so I'm just washing that out again. Okay, I'm liking this okay. Now I'm going to go back into that burnt sienna color just a little and add a little to her neck and throat kind of an area. I'm trying to maybe get kind of like a vintage look, you know what I mean? Kind of like that brown sepia kind of a color that you get from older photographs. All right, I'm liking her. Now I'm going to add just some shadows in her hair. I'm going to use, this is a quinacridone gold, and I'm going to add it right to that sienna that I had. And I want it watery, and I'm just going to add like under here where I think it would be darker, down here where again I think it would be darker, and then I'm going to add just like the ruffle of her hair and a little bit here and there of the outline of her hair, but just where she would have some curl. But I don't want it to look harsh. I'm trying to create more of a shadow than I am an outline of her hair. Just some of the shadowy areas that might have been created by whatever light source she's near. I like her eyes the way they are. I'm going to probably add just a little bit of Sharpie to tighten them up a little bit, but I'm kind of liking that. I'm going to grab a tiny bit of this pink, And I want just ever such a little bit right in the corners of her eyes. You might not even be able to see that. Just to add a little pink in the corner of her eye. Because I think that's going to give her, the other corner too, I think it's going to just give her a little bit more life in there. Okay, I think she could just use a little more something. I'm going to add a little of that sepia color to this golden color. And again, adding just a little bit more to her hair. But I'm wanting it a different color than what we already have. Add some softness if I can. Okay, this seems a little harsh. And I'm going to lighten this up. Move it around a little bit. This looked a little too blobby. Okay. I'm liking her. I hope that you do. I'm going to add a little of this sepia under her lip and under her nose, because your nose does cast a shadow. But I'm trying to make it look like a shadow and not like an extension of her nose. Do you know what I mean? I just don't want it to, but I just know this needs to be a little darker under her nose. Okay. Sometimes I think you can see this better than I can because I'm just a little bit too close. I'm trying to lean back in my chair from time to time. I'm going to soften the yellow here a little bit. Not so much that I want to lighten the color, but just soften the edges just a touch. And I'm going to go right into that quinacridone gold and put a little bit up here. See, I want this part to be darker and that other part to be a little bit lighter. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I am liking her very much. I'm going to just soften some of these edges. To have it just kind of disappear into the paper and not be such an obvious line. Well, I said I didn't want to do a lot, and I am liking her. Maybe I will add just a little color to her clothes. I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go with this is aquamarine. And just suggesting that she has a little bit of clothes on. But I want more water than I want color. Just barely a wash. And you know, I think she would benefit from another shoulder. Again, just a suggestion. Not too much. Okay, I'm going to dry this up a bit. I've got a puddle going on. So watercolor brushes are very absorbent, so I can just kind of pick that up a little. Okay, back into the ultramarine and just give this shoulder some little bit of color. And then it would be just a tiny bit darker right in here. All right. I'm liking this. I like the softness. I do. I'm happy with this. I hope that you are. I'm going into the cadmium yellow hue, which means that they didn't use real cadmium. They used a dye base because of the being, you know, poison. I'm guessing that's why. I'm no watercolor expert and I'm not a scientist, so I don't know for sure, but I think that's what that's about. I'm just adding a little brighter yellow to the top of her hair. Again, I want to wash it out so that it's not, no harsh lines if I can avoid it. Okay. All right. Now I'm contemplating if I want to use a Sharpie or just the pencil. I'm leaning more towards just using the pencil to kind of add a little more to her, a little more detail in her eyes. I'm just mopping up where I can see water standing because, again, this isn't absorbent like a watercolor paper. It's been protected by the gesso. Okay, I think I'm just going to use my pencil to give, you know, a little suggestion of some eyelashes. Not much. Okay, well, I'm not going to do anything more to her. I really, really like her. If I decide to do something more after she's dry, I will let you know, but I like her and I'm giving her a sign. Here we go. Okay. Neutral background number 1. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you found this inspirational or instructive or helpful in some way. And if you did, drop me a comment and hit the like. I would appreciate it so much. And if you want to see more of my content, go ahead and ring the bell icon. That'll get you subscribed, and then you can get notified every time I put out a new video. In the meantime, I will see you in my next video. Bye.